and we worked with all stakeholders, with all the provinces. There was PTI government in KP. We worked with Mr. Pervez Khattak. There was PPP government. Then PPP was our adversary in opposition. Mr. Qaim Ali Shah was the chief minister. We worked with him. There was government in Balochistan headed by nationalist Dr. Malik. We worked with them. We forged national consensus and we came up with Vision 2025. And what Vision 2025 articulated was that it is time for Pakistan to move away from geopolitics to geoeconomics. We had wasted 67 years in geopolitics fighting others' wars at the cost of our own country. And we failed to leverage our locational advantage. Pakistan is located at a very strategic location at the crossroads of three engines of growth in Asia: South Asia, China, and Central Asia. And Pakistan holds key to integrating these three regions into one big regional market of about 3 billion people by providing north-south and east-west connectivity. So in Vision 2025, one of the 7 pillars was that Pakistan must pursue and build regional connectivity corridors so that we can leverage our locational advantage. We also set a target that by 2025, Pakistan should be in the top 25 economies of the world. I remember when we launched this vision and we set out this goal that Pakistan should be in the top 25 economies of the world, many Socrates and Bucrates of that time made fun of us. That don't you see that there is 16 to 18 hours power shortage in the country? Don't you see that there is a suicide bomber blowing himself every other day and killing scores of people? That kind of security environment, with that security environment, how in your dreams can you think that we would be moving towards that goal? But we were very sure of what we were doing because we had the will that we want to pursue this path and we want to realize this vision. We set ourselves to put certain reforms in place. Tax collection was doubled from 2 trillion to 4 trillion. That gave us the space to start new programs. And we gave the budget to our security agencies to carry out the fight against extremism to its logical end. We used Army Public School attack as an opportunity to create a national consensus, broad-based consensus against extremism, and we developed National Action Plan that helped us improve the security environment. And by 2017, we had reached a momentum where PricewaterhouseCoopers, a leading international organization, when it released its projection of the future rankings of the economies, it put Pakistan in the top 20 economies by 2030. That means that it was projecting Pakistan to be part of G20 by 2030 if Pakistan maintained that trajectory. So in this backdrop, when we were charting out a new course for Pakistan, Prime Minister of China invited Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif immediately to visit China after he took oath of office. And on 5th of July 2013, I had the honor of signing an MOU on China-Pakistan Economic Corridor in the presence of our Prime Minister and Chinese Prime Minister, that both countries resolve to work on China-Pakistan Economic Corridor cooperation framework and to bring a strategic shift in our relationship to promote economic cooperation or to add the dimension of economic cooperation between our relationship. Now let me also tell you that it is no fault of anyone except ours that we have remained so bogged down in geopolitics that we overlooked all the economic realities that were happening around us and with our friends. For example, in 1980, per capita income of China was $200 and per capita income of Pakistan was $300. China from $200 reached per capita income of $12,500. There was an economic explosion taking place right next door with best of our best friends, and we remained completely insensitive to what was happening there and how could we get a share of that economic explosion. China was investing billions of dollars in shape of foreign direct investment all over the world, and we remained completely cut off from that foreign direct investment. So after we signed this agreement in July, the first JCC meeting of the highest forum of CPAC took place the very next month, end of August 2013 in Islamabad. And I remember when I was preparing my opening remarks, I was myself completely surprised and also embarrassed to find out that China was somewhere 13th or 15th in terms of foreign direct investment in Pakistan before 2013. China was investing billions of dollars everywhere, but we never saw that opportunity that we should invite them to come and invest in Pakistan also. So there was almost no economic link between China and Pakistan while we had best of the best political relationship. So we decided that we will use CPAC as a main instrument of transforming this relationship into a strong economic partnership. And when we were negotiating our initial roadmap, the two priority areas which were before us in the first phase were the two bottlenecks for Pakistani economy for growth. The two bottlenecks we faced at that time were energy. There was an acute power crisis in the country. Without energy, you cannot have a modern economy. For modern economy, energy or electricity is like oxygen is for human life. If you don't have energy or electricity, you cannot have modern economy or new economy. So it was most critical that we immediately overcome the power shortage in the country. Secondly, you also need physical infrastructure for economy. Our infrastructure was in shambles. For number of years, we were transporting NATO supplies free of cost, without even recovering the damage to our infrastructure, to our roads, that was happening due to wear and tear of heavy shipment that was going through those roads. We did not even bother to, collect some money in return for that shipments so that we could maintain or upkeep that, infrastructure that was being used. So our physical infrastructure, roads and rails were completely in shambles. So these two were the major bottlenecks if we wanted to revive our economy. So we focused in the first phase on developing an infrastructure on which we could build foundations and then create an industrialization for Pakistan. As a result, projects were identified that will help Pakistan overcome its energy deficiency and improve its connectivity. Within 3 years, we were able to harness about $29 billion worth of investment in different infrastructure projects. As Ambassador Izaz was saying, that there were many critics who said that maybe there were loans which were put on Pakistan. This is the propaganda that was put against CPAC when it was launched. There were enemies of Pakistan, and as you are aware, that one spy was also arrested. A senior level military official of our neighboring country was arrested from Balochistan, whose mission was to disrupt CPAC. So our neighboring country was hell-bent to see that CPAC does not happen to Pakistan. And there was almost a big communication offensive launched against CPAC to make it controversial, to plant seeds of mistrust between different regions and parts of Pakistan. So we were not only negotiating with Chinese, we were not only implementing these projects, but I think one of the success stories of CPAC was that we also comprehended the communication challenge in time. And we came up with a counter communication strategy, and we defeated the enemies of CPAC on propaganda front. As a result, we were able to forge a national consensus on CPAC, whether it was Mr. Parvez Khattak from KP, whether it was Mr. Qaim Ali Shah or Murad Ali Shah, Chief Ministers of Sindh, or the Chief Ministers of Balochistan, or Punjab, or GB and Azad Jammu Kashmir. We were able to get support from each and every unit of federation. And I remember it was quite a day for us when in December 2016, for the 6th JCC meeting, we had complete line of Pakistani leadership sitting before Chinese leadership, which gave them great confidence that Pakistani nation was united and one in support of CPAC. And this we were able to accomplish even while there were high political tensions in the country. When you govern a country, you cannot govern a country through exclusive approach. You may have political differences, but those political differences should not be allowed to become disruptors or should not be allowed to create such divisions that we lose our ability to work together or collaborate together on national projects. So therefore, we were able to have an inclusive approach towards CPAC, and we were able to forge national unity, and that was, I think, one of the success stories which CPAC will always be very proud to share with our people, that how I remember I spent 16 hours consecutive briefings to MPAs in Balochistan with KP, engagements with the media, Senate, National Assembly. We used each and every forum to dispel all the misconceptions, and we were also able to do a very strong campaign on social media. So all that effort that was being done to misguide people was successfully defeated, and we moved forward. Now, under CPAC, initially we set 4 targets. One was energy, under which almost $35 billion worth of portfolio was allocated. And let me tell you that all the investments that came under CPAC were in private sector in IPP form. There is no single dollar loan that government of Pakistan has taken for any energy project. And the private investment that came in CPAC came under an energy policy that was there before CPAC for investors. But due to Pakistan's security scenario, no investor, whether from our own country or from United States or from Europe or from Middle East or anywhere in the world, was willing to come and take the risk of investing in Pakistan. I think it goes to the credit of Chinese that they took that risk. They said, okay, if no one is coming, you are our brothers, we are coming, and we'll help you overcome the energy crisis. So
वफाकी वज़ीर मनसूबाबंदी अहसन इकबाल का इस्लामाबाद में तकरीसी खिताब आपने सुना। उनका ये कहना था कि हमें आगे जाना के लिए मनसूबाबंदी की ज़रूरत है, पॉलिसीज़ के तसलसल के लिए रोड मैप का होना ज़रूरी है ताकि उसके समरात आम आदमी तक पहुँच सकें। PTV न्यूज़ से फिल वक्त इतना ही।
इस्लाम के लिए खतरा बनने वालों के खिलाफ लड़ना, मजलूमों की दाद रसी करना है।
हम कभी भी अपने गुलामों को भूखा रहने नहीं देते।
पारवुस ने वो बात आपको मुकाबले से खारिज करने के लिए कही।
अब तुम मुझे सब कुछ सच बताओगे।
दिलशाद के कातिल को आपके सिवा कोई तलाश नहीं कर सकता सलीम पाशा।
हम गलती तो माफ कर सकते हैं, लेकिन रियासत से गद्दारी की मुआफी नहीं।
मुझे लगता है कि आप इस जंग को जारी रखना चाहते हैं।
पारवुस इस मामले में दखल अंदाजी कर रहा है।
फहीम पाशा को खोना नहीं।
हमें तलाश करने वाला अपनी मौत को दावत देता है।
कमालुद्दीन की फिक्र हो रही है हमें।
उसने वहाँ खदीजा को अगवाकारों से बचा लिया।
हर कोई खेल खेलना चाहता है।
पाए तख्त में एक और तंजीम सरगर्म है।
तो आज की रात होगा एक मजेदार दौरा।
आप रद्दी का कागज हैं, हमारे आला खानदान के अहल नहीं।